Hello, ladies. This is Pooja from Good Times India. How are you doing? And Antonia, can I wish you happy birthday?
Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet.
Yay! Happy
Dhanyavad.
birthday!
What a way to
Dhanyavad.
start your birthday. Perfect. So let's talk about Shantaram. So I'll start with Karla. And as in, the author's own words, she was a woman who, he found her extremely courageous, though she is a bundle of mysteries. And also he imbibed in her when he was writing her characteristics that he, admired in his mother. She was here confronting male ego and also kind of accentuating her own self. So when you read this character, what was it like? What appealed to you about this person?
So, as a foreigner, a role like this doesn't come very often. And I'm a foreigner living in a foreign land for the past 12 years. So I really related to that aspect of the character. Also, the idea that she's constantly in search of her identity. I was also very intrigued by the enigma that she represents, but I also wanted to make her as complex and as human as possible because, humans are very complex. And I think I just needed to make her a little bit more tangible, unpinnable, but just a little bit more rounded, just so the audience could have a bit of love for her.
Awesome. And Elektra, Lisa, as the author himself, Roberts says so, that he actually composed a song for her, also saying, Runaway Lisa. The thing is that she has this childlike innocence. Also, she has this utmost honesty. So, did you read the book? And, she is a character he created because he'd met so many like her during the course of his travels.
And it's interesting you say that because Lisa in the show is an amalgamation of Lisa and Ulla. She definitely has a childlike honesty to her. I think that her journey and quest for beauty and finding beauty in people's eyes and having fun is very apparent in her storyline. But I also think throughout the season you'll see her finding a sense of agency and being inspired by Karla.
Absolutely. And the fact that the two of you, it's like Karla looks out for her, though she has her own agenda. But there is women empowering women. There's something that we keep talking about. That was very interesting to see because back in the 80s, you didn't have such stories being told.
No. And that's why it was such an attractive role for us because a wonderful showrunner, Steve Lightfoot, really created multidimensional character. And as as female characters, we do not live through men. We do not only speak about men. We look out for each other. And I think there's a beautiful sisterhood dynamic between the two of them. And it's this love and hate and sort of annoyance. And yet it's always driven by love. But I think it was very wonderful for two young women to be able to play such strong and assertive characters.
Absolutely. And the two of you are creators as well. You're a writer and Elektra is a songwriter. What are the kind of stories you want to tell?
Female narratives.
Yeah, female stories.
Female stories and, uncomfortable stories and stories that people are afraid to tap into and that are taboo and just real stories that are about human beings and women and
breaking out of the pigeonholes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And since this is based in India, any plans or have you visited India?
Yes.
We went to Mumbai.
Wow. So what appealed to you about our country and can we expect you back again?
It was
hope so.
The culture, the people.
We had the best time.
Honestly, it was the most magical time of my life. And I've always heard if you go to India, something will change in you. And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
There's a generosity, a beauty, a vibrance,
wisdom,
a careness about your country. And we felt so welcomed and we had so much fun. And we visited all the places that are sort of mentioned in the book.
Yeah, we went to Leopold's, we had lunch at the Taj, we walked around Colaba, we walked for hours, like just everywhere.
And because it is such a multinational show and we're all expats in Mumbai, we really wanted to get that feel of foreigners being in Mumbai and sort of seeing how people interact with us and it was wonderful.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, ladies, and thank you for speaking to me. All the very best and happy birthday once again. Have a great day ahead.
Dhanyavad.
Hi, this is Pooja from Good Times India. So, Steve, many, many congratulations. You managed to do something that many ventured out to do so, but couldn't, So, what was the whole experience like of, it's a huge book. It's just some 5 pages short of 1,000 pages. What was your experience like?
It was great. I mean, the short answer is it was really exciting. I was a fan of the book. I read it when it first came out. I'd read it 2 or 3 times for pleasure. So when the opportunity came my way, I was really excited and, was very familiar with it. And then it was kind of like everything. You just start taking this story and saying, okay, how do we, how do you turn it into episodes of TV? But yeah, no, I was always a huge fan of the book. I'd owned a copy that I then proceeded to write notes all over and bash around and drag around the world with me, and it's pretty beat up. And then I noticed about a month ago that it's actually a first edition, and I feel terrible that I've sort of treated it so badly.
So, Gregory David Roberts said that he didn't want to interfere. He wanted to give the team the creative freedom. So, also there are fans of the book who will tend to compare. So there's a lot riding through. So when you were writing it, working it, adapting it, what was actually going on in your mind?
Well, Greg's incredibly generous, and because I spend a lot of time talking to him. He was there as much as we wanted him, and certainly there were lots of things I wanted to talk to him about and get his experience and know more about. But then on the other hand, he was incredibly generous of saying, but it's a new thing, so change. If you need to change things, do. But the book was always my North Star. It's a book that's moved so many people, and I think that's fundamentally about the tone and the heart and the sort of humanity of the book. And so, as much as anything we had to change for plot or here and there, I was just really keen that we just kept the tone and the humanity and the humor and everything that everyone loves about it.
So how did you zero in on Charlie Hunnam to play Lynn Shantaram?
Well, Charlie had already been cast when I came on board. So, but that was one of the reasons I really wanted to do the show, because, I'd been a fan of his for a long time. I was really excited to work with him. And as a writer, in television, so often you're writing a script before you know who plays the part, and then you have to try and work that out. But whenever you can write knowing who it is, there's such a gift to that. So, I could write with Charlie in mind from day one.
What was it actually about when you read Shantaram and then when you realized that you were going to be adapting it? What was it, that one thing that appealed to you about this book? Because there are lots of stories in it. It's about redemption. It's about forgiveness. It's about identity. There are too many layers in this book. Which was the one thing that you actually said, had just got you saying that I need to work on this?
I just loved this story of a guy trying to be the best version of himself, despite his own worst nature, and it was all, I feel like the thing that everyone can identify with is that idea of watching, you're watching someone who just wants to like what he sees in the mirror, and his version of that is much huger than all of ours. But I think that's all of us, right? We just want to be comfortable with the person we are. And I thought, for me, that's why I think everyone finds something in it.
So, Steve, I know you could not shoot in India, so you have shot in Bangkok. So have you visited India, or any plans to visit India if you haven't?
Well, the sad truth is I've never been to India. I was, had lots of trips planned when we started working on the show. And then obviously because of the situation with the pandemic, I was never able to come. So we did a lot of research and I had Indian writers but I'm very excited now as things hopefully settle down to actually get out there and visit.
Looking forward to that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.